There are a lot of different professional video editors out there, so which one should you start with? I personally use DaVinci Resolve, so I just want to show you an overview and compare you the pricings of the different ones. And I want to show you honestly how easy it is to start with DaVinci Resolve, and honestly why DaVinci Resolve is probably the best video editor out there for now and for the future. First of all, let's just get into the different ones. We have Adobe Premiere. I'm sure you've heard of it. We have DaVinci Resolve. I don't know if CapCut is considered professional, but there are people who are using it professionally. And there's also Final Cut Pro, which is from Apple. The quick pricing is we have CapCut Standard and CapCut Pro. It's $10 and $20 a month, which turns out to $120 and $180 per year. Right? So $120 and $180. Adobe is an annual commitment, $264 a year or $23 per month that you have this application. This is if you do it for the annual commitment. If you do month to month, it's $35 or $420 per year. DaVinci Resolve Studio, there is a free version that contains about 95% of the features. And for anyone who's just starting, 95% of the things that you need to do is available in the free version. And once you get to that professional level, it's a one-time purchase of $295. Final Cut Pro is also a perpetual license and it's $299. And sometimes you may find DaVinci Resolve Studio on sale and it may be even $150 or something like that. One thing I forgot to mention about DaVinci Resolve is how often they bring updates, and it's all gonna be included in your license. You're gonna see later in this video in a short section, there is now a photo mode. So if you are using Lightroom and you pay for DaVinci Resolve, or you have already paid for it, you will now be able to use raw editing for photos, and they're adding more camera support coming soon. I believe they have Sony and Nikon right now and a couple other formats. So now I just wanna give you a quick overview of what DaVinci Resolve Studio looks like and the potential inside of DaVinci Resolve, but we don't need to necessarily use all of the features. So sometimes it may look a little congested or a little cluttered, or there's way too much for us when we're just beginning, starting to do video editing, or we need to edit something. The potential is up there. It is used for Hollywood level, it is used for professional movies, but you can also still use it just to make a couple social media reels. When you first open up DaVinci Resolve, I have the studio version and this is the beta. You'll have something called a project library, and you can make different libraries, which is where all the data is going to be saved. For example, like your settings or little like things like that. But let's just assume we have one library. You can start a new project by clicking on new project, and I'm going to start that for us here. Once we make a project, this is where we're introduced at. We're introduced at the cut page. I'm actually going to right click here, put show icons and labels so we can see the different pages. Everything is pretty much in order. You start with your media. In the media page is where you'll be able to see the media on your computer, or you can just drag media in here directly. For example, here I have some videos that I'm going to open up. These are located on my computer. So I'm just going to select these 4 videos or 5 and just drag them in. And then it's saying, hey, this project is at a different frame rate. Let's just go ahead and change it to match. And now I have videos inside of my project. They're not being moved on my computer. They're just now in my project available for me to work with. For me about DaVinci Resolve is everything is in order. You're going to start with your media page. You're going to put your media in here. You're going to organize it, rate it, do whatever you want to your media, like just to see what media we are in our project. Then you can go to the cut page. The cut page is where you can cut down different timelines. You could drag in a clip and you see your clip and you can put cuts. Edit is where you're gonna be able to see the entire timeline. So my video files come with 4 different audio tracks, but we can delete those. These are, just want to give you an overview. So you can see it, for example, if I put another clip on top, let's just take the video only and put on top. Now you're gonna be able to see multiple things. So the cut page is when you're starting to like build like a timeline if you like this page easier, and edit is when you're starting to do more things to it. You have the fusion page. The fusion page is when you're trying to do effects, maybe 3D, adding tracking. There's many things you could do here. It's all special effects. So if you're a beginner, you're probably not gonna be touching this page at all. Then we have the color page. The color page is where we can do adjustments and adjust the color of our video, do different things to the color, add color grades, add LUTs. And if you're a beginner, like I said, you're probably not gonna be even using this page either. Fairlight is all to do with audio. I only use a couple things from here, but you could do EQ, which is very good for you to to make your sound better. You could do dynamics, which is compression and limiting, which if you want a video about that, put it in the comments below if you want to make your audio sound better. And I can give us a whole tutorial on how to set basic and how to use these tools at a basic level so you can have better sound for your videos. But the power and the capacity here is you can do automation, you can make volume go up and down later throughout the video at certain points in the track, move the audio from left and right. There are other effects. There's also, if you have the studio version, one of probably the best AI noise reductions for video. You could turn that on here on the track and you just have a slider and it will isolate the voice. It is extremely good. And then finally, when you're done with all of that, if you even choose to use all of those tabs, you go to the deliver page, and this is where you're going to deliver your final media. You can render, they have presets for you here. For example, like YouTube 1440p, it already has like presets for you, and everything's ready. These are all encoder settings, which may be too much right now for you. And there's also H.264 master, H.265, and we could choose whether we want to export our video only or our audio, and where we want to save it. Like, everything is here available for you. And what's best about DaVinci Resolve is that everything is in order. You go from media, and now in the studio version, I believe also in the free version, there's now a photo mode. And this is, if you're using Lightroom, this is probably going to get only better and better and better. And it's going to be a Lightroom replacement, meaning you could do all of the color grading and adjustments here in photo. So it's now going to be a photo and video editor. Then we have the cut page, edit, fusion, color, Fairlight, deliver. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I want to show you what it's like to get started on your first project. If we delete the timeline, so now all I had to do was we went into our media page and I dropped in some videos here. You know what? Let's choose some better videos, something with talking here. We have talking right here. Let's drop this in. A texture, so we can see the compression of the bitrate. After all, we are going to be uploading to YouTube, which is going to... So I have a video here of me talking. I'm going to remove out all the parts where I made mistakes. Once we have something in our media page, we can see what type of media we have. So if we click on it, it shows us here in this side of the under metadata. So we have different tabs. Everything here in DaVinci Resolve has different tabs that you could turn on. The tabs on the right, you can turn them on and off, as well as tabs on the left. For example, you have media storage, clone tool, and these will open and close these tabs. So when we don't need them, you could just turn them off. So we don't need audio, we don't need capture. All I want to do is see the metadata. So now we're inside of metadata. I see that this is 29.97 drop frame FPS, and this is my resolution, 4096 by 2160. If I go to my settings page, I already have this as my default, but you can change your project resolution. So I already have it to 4096 2160 DCI, and it's already set timeline frame rate and my playback frame rate, as well as drop frame timecode. Okay, everything is all there. So now if I click on this and create a new timeline, I'm going to be able to make a timeline with this clip, based on this clip. And let's just say I unclick this. This is using selected mark in and mark out. So here on the edit page, let's say I only want from here. I can hit I, hit O, and now I'm only going to put this section into my timeline. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is hit Alt and X. That has removed any mark in and mark out. We're going to create a timeline. We'll just name it timeline 1 and hit create. Now, if I double click this, it's going to take me right to the edit page, and I can see I'm in my timeline. I have the audio. Full extent zoom is going to show me my entire timeline. So even if, for example, if I had another clip way over here and I'm zoomed in here, if I put full extent zoom, it's going to show me everything that's on my timeline. So there's nothing that I'm missing. I'm going to delete that side on the right, and you see that has now zoomed in on where we're at. Here we have our video tracks, audio tracks. This one tells me this audio is mono, meaning it's not a left and right track, meaning stereo. It's only mono. It's playing right down the middle, which means the same audio is playing exactly on the left and exactly on the right side, left and right. Res, 4222 color at 648 megabits per second. So what can we do? We can easily do some things. We can use Alt and scroll wheel to zoom in onto our playhead here. The red is the playhead. I can move my playhead over. I can zoom in, and I can make cuts. In DaVinci Resolve, I'm not sure that this is the default, but I'm going to show you. Control Alt and K on Windows opens up the keyboard customization, and I'm going to show you what's on the letter C is called mouse pointer. Okay, if you have this on C in the newest versions, I think it defaults to C, but all you have to do is search here for mouse pointer, and it says the command is go to mouse pointer. I have it on C. It's really good because now wherever I put my mouse and hold C, it's going to bring the playhead to there. Even if I'm over a clip, even if I'm like up here, it just works. It's very fast to get your playhead to wherever you want it to be. So for example, I'm going to put my mouse over here, hit C, playhead is here. I have a keyboard shortcut, S, it splits the clips. I can move my mouse over here, hit C, hit S, and I've now split the clip. And now I have this separate, and I can hit delete, and it literally deletes and cuts the space in between. Or Control Z, go back. I can hit backspace, and now it removed that section, but it left the gap for me. If I click on the gap, I can hit backspace again and it deletes it for me. So there's plenty of keyboard shortcuts. And I'm going to show you another keyboard shortcut that I have set up. Keyboard shortcuts are going to make your editing life much faster as you get more advanced and developed. So I'm going to Control Z. The faster workflow I do is I hit C, I hit S to split because I want to leave it from the end of this part. And I'm going to move my mouse to here. And what I'm going to do is hit Q. And what that did is took this clip and it made it start on this line and it removes the gap. So it means start this clip at this playhead. See, that's what it did. You can imagine that it just took this area and shrank it. That's going to be the faster way to edit. Watch how fast I can remove all the bad parts. I just go like this, Q, S, Q, S, Q, S, Q, S, Q, S, Q. And now you can see how fast I'll be able to remove the dead spaces or parts where I made mistakes or where I'm like breathing or not talking. S, Q, S, Q. What is that keyboard shortcut? I'm going to show you. Control Alt K to open up the keyboard shortcuts. I moved Q to this command, start to playhead. The default on the, when you, I guess, start DaVinci Resolve is Control Shift and left bracket, but that's like all the way on the other side of the keyboard for me. I have to use two hands. I don't like that. So I set the start to the playhead to be Q and the end to playhead to be W. So that's how I have it, Q and W, start and end. Now what I can do is really quickly, like, oh, I want this clip to start at this playhead, Q. And you can see how fast that works. And you can also do this in the reverse direction, meaning I want this clip to end here. Now I want this entire clip to end at this playhead, W. S, oh, well, actually, we have to do it from here now. S, oh, that's the beginning. I don't usually go the backward way to end. Oh yeah, so S, and then here, W, because I want this clip to end here. S, W. This is just one of the ways you can make editing faster. Definitely learn the keyboard shortcuts. Now, as you can see, my video looks very dull. For my workflow, I record on my camera in Panasonic V-Gamut and V-Log. If you have a professional camera and you start using log footage, you're gonna have to do color grade. I'm gonna show you a basic way we could do a color grade. If you select all your clips, let's say all these clips are from my Lumix, I can right click on it. I can put add into a new group and I'm just gonna name it Lumix. And now all of these clips are grouped together. They're in a group. How do I know they're in a group? There's a link here. And when we come into the top to the clip, there's group pre-clip and there's group post-clip. So this is gonna happen on the group. What do I wanna do? I wanna do something which is to open up the effects panel. It's a fast way, shift and space. Color, space, transform. We're gonna transform from the color space, the recording log footage into a display color space, a space of color made for us to view and display like our phones or like our YouTube video. Input is Panasonic V-Gamut, and you would just have to know this from the video. Output color space, we can do directly into a color for us to view. It's called Rec 709 and Rec 709. Now we have the default color of just converting it from our recorded log into a display. And that's it. That's how you get a very quick from log into this. But I will leave some links in the description below for advanced color grading. This is not how you would usually do it. There's much more capacity here. You would probably put this into DaVinci wide gamut. And now we're in a gamut made for color grading. And then when we're done, we'll put this back into another color space transform, and we'll go from like DaVinci wide gamut, because we just put it into DaVinci wide gamut, back into, let's say, Rec 709, okay? And we don't need any tone mapping here. For the pre-clip, let me just fix that, none and none. And then on the clip level, now we can do specific color grades. So we can see I'm turning up the exposure, changing things how I need. I can even add, for example, a LUT here. This is a Kodak 2383 LUT. So we could do all different kinds of things. I can reduce the opacity of the LUT here. So maybe this looks good, just enough. So there's all the different kinds of things we could do. Once we're done with our edit here, we have our one track. I have it colored. I can go to the deliver page. And honestly, H.265 master is perfect enough. It'll use an automatic encoder, whether if you have an NVIDIA GPU or AMD GPU or a Mac, or if you don't have a GPU, it'll probably use your CPU, which will be slower. So we'll just leave it. And there's also now a main concept one, which is a new encoder. I have another video about that. It's just a more advanced algorithm that also uses a GPU, but it could take longer. So we'll just stick to NVIDIA. Network optimization is it moves like a specific part of the file that is like the metadata of the file to the front of the file. So when you're uploading it to, like, let's say YouTube, it's able to get the metadata early. It doesn't have to download the whole file to get the metadata of the video. It doesn't really make a difference too much. I just leave it on. There's no reason not to have it, not that I know of. Then there's different encoding profiles. Main 10, I'm just gonna stick with this. Variable bitrate, it's gonna choose the best quality. How fast is it gonna do it? Fast is fine, or faster is fine. How high quality or ultra high quality is gonna be very slow if you use ultra high quality. There's all these different advanced features of the encoder. How we're gonna render our video, either make it smaller in file size or better in quality, or how long it's gonna take, all different kinds of things. Audio, AAC, it's a lossy audio, meaning it's going to remove parts that we can't necessarily hear or perceive, and it's going to reduce the size. Then we can choose the location. We can just, let's just say, put it on here, my videos, and we can name it if we'd like, test video, and we can put, and it gives you an estimated file size here in the bottom left. This is in the studio version and the public beta 21. Add to render queue. It's all the way up here, and we can add multiple things that we want to render. Once we get advanced, we have like different timelines we want to render, and then you can hit select, render all, and now it's going to go ahead and render our video on my GPU. And you could see up here, it's rendering at, looks like 44, 57, 55 frames per second. So this is about 2 seconds worth of video every second at these preset settings and my resolution and everything like that. And there we go. Our file is done. You can right click it, open file location. And here we go, test video.
Res 4222 color at 648 megabits per second. So we're not gonna be rendering anything at 648 megabits.
There you go. And this is like the basic overview of DaVinci Resolve. There are so many more features and capacity in DaVinci Resolve for professional films, for Hollywood level, for crazy visual effects, meaning like 3D and tracking and adding text that's floating in there in 3D space, and so much more that I don't even know. The point is, the program has the capability, but we may not necessarily have the skill. What we have to do is, when we're starting to learn DaVinci Resolve or video editing, is figure out what is it that I need to accomplish? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? And only learn those things. Take it step by step. You don't need to be a master in the entire program before you start using it. You need to start on the program, figure out what it is I'm trying to accomplish. Maybe it's a simple cut and edit, remove some bad takes, and then I can move forward. What do I want to learn next? I want to learn how to make better color. I want to learn how to add sound effects. I want to learn how to add EQ and compression to make my audio more natural and sound cleaner and better. Or maybe I want to learn how to do visual effects. I want to make music videos and start putting masks and cutting people in and transitions. So many different options. Maybe I'm making a documentary and I just need to put together a couple clips on top of each other and make a simple timeline. The process is going to take time. It's going to take steps, but the program is available at your level. So thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Let me know any questions you have down below. I really appreciate your guys' feedback, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.